In this video, we're going to run through CMI Unit 331, Task 1B. So that includes AC1.2 and AC1.3. Okay, so let's start with the assignment brief on the left-hand side here. It says, summarise 3 different management and leadership approaches. And then down here, it says for 1.3, identify how the 3 approaches that you've talked about here can be applied to work situations, preferably your own work situations, but they could be hypothetical examples. So if you're not a team leader or manager yet, then you can just use examples that you've thought of or you've seen in work. And they give you some examples of work situations here, and then they give you different leadership and management approaches here. Should be the other way around, really, I guess, in terms of the presenting the assignment brief. But don't worry too much about that, because over here we have the same questions, obviously. So this is our answer booklet. You put your answers in here. We're going to answer 1.2 and 1.3 kind of together at the same time. This column, the left-hand column of this answer booklet, should be your summary of 3 different management and leadership approaches. So it'd be roughly 100 words each. And then over here, 100 words on how they would be applied, how and when you'd apply them. So don't expect you to just come up with this out of thin air. We provide for our learners this handout that I've just popped on the screen, more on the left, center left of the screen. We've put the reference there so you can copy that across here. We covered that in the previous video, where you can use the references feature and add an end note, and then just copy and paste this in, please. We're not going to do that for you because you may want to choose to use something different. And we want to be helpful, but we want you to also get into the habit of doing your referencing yourself. So here we go. We've got Dan Goleman and his colleagues from a number of years ago. They wrote another book called Resonant Leadership. This is from Primal Leadership, an interesting text, and we've just summarized it into a table. I see lots of incorrect versions of this on Google and on the internet, so please be careful. I'd much rather you took it from this. I produced this handout. It took quite a few hours to do. The book jumps around a little bit. It could be a bit more organized. And the authors of this present it exactly in this order, and they say how it builds resonance, the impact on climate, so that's on typically refers to the sort of team culture climate, and when it's appropriate to use it. So for 1.2 over here, the left-hand column, I think you should choose definitely 3, because it says 3 in the assignment brief. And I would choose a range. So maybe one of commanding and pace setting, one of the less good styles. They're still useful, but you have to be careful with them. Maybe one out of the middle 2, and then one out of the top. And it gives you, so you could write about coaching style, and then in the handout, the bullet points here are taken directly from the author's text. Okay, so they're lifted straight out as phrases, and so you can read these and use them as your own. I probably would rewrite them because you're writing a summary, so it's probably going to be 2 or 3 little paragraphs for each of the 3. So that would be how I would approach 1.2. And then over here for 1.3, if we jump back to the assignment brief, we've also copied it across to here, is when would you use each one? So let's suppose for 1.2, the first one we chose was the coaching leadership style, and we'd summarized that, characterized by developing people, but also connecting people with the bigger picture and connecting people with what's going on in the business or with the project or whatever. So those 2 key sort of features for me in Dan Goleman's coaching style. When would that be useful? When would you be coaching people as a team leader or manager? So you might go with some scenarios and some examples. You might be coaching people when their performance is not very good, or you might be coaching people when their performance is great and they want to be even better, or maybe they've got a sticky issue with their like time management or prioritizations not as good as it should be, or kind of, I don't know, dealing with conflict or whatever. So there's lots of kind of situations and scenarios. It could be that you're wanting to help them develop in their career or to achieve more at work or whatever. So I can think of lots of examples of when you would use the coaching style, and you would need to sort of unpack those a little bit and explain them. So we would do coaching style summary, and then coaching style example and application, and then the same with some other, like 2 others. So that is AC 1.2 and AC 1.3, and they all go in there together and it ends up as a big long table. Great. There are other theories and models you can use, but we recommend those, just that one, because it's kind of up to date and it's interesting and it's got a good evidence base. Cool. On to the next video to look at task 2A.